Here we're going to learn how to find the slope of a line that is either parallel or perpendicular to the line that they're going to give us in the question. So you need to know what slope-intercept form is. So if you haven't watched the slope part 2 video on Facebook, you need to do that. But let's first say that we need to find the slope of a line that's parallel to the line that's given us. What does parallel mean? If we have a coordinate system and we have a line that's parallel to this line is going to be a line that never intersects it. They just go side by side, kind of like lines on the road where they just, the center line and the edge line, they never intersect. So for example, a parallel line might look like that or that. Any line that is not going to intersect our original line. So it would make sense that the slope of these parallel lines is the same as this line, because remember, slope is a measure of essentially how slanted the line is. So you need the lines to be exactly slanted, exactly the same, in order for them not to intersect. So for them to be parallel, they have to have the same slope. So how do we figure this out mathematically? The question that they're basically going to give you is, say, what is the slope of the line parallel to, and they'll give you an equation, 4y equals 8x minus 9. We'll use this as an example. So what's the slope of the line parallel to this line? So remember, we have to, once we write this in slope-intercept form, the slope, your slope-intercept form, is this m that's sitting by the x. So we just need to get this y by itself and figure out what's the m. So how do we get y by itself? We have 4y equals 8x minus 9. We want to get rid of this 4. This is 4 times y, so to get rid of the 4 we do the opposite, which means we divide by 4. So we have to divide each element by 4, because if we're going to divide by 4 on this side, we have to divide by 4 on this side. So 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so we can just write y. 8 divided by 4, because 8 was the original number, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so we have 2x minus 9/4. So now we have slope-intercept form, and our slope is 2. It's the number that sits beside the x. So what is the slope of the line parallel to this line? It'll be 2, because the slope has to be the same for every line that is parallel to this line. Since the slope of this line is 2, the slope of every line parallel to it also has to be 2. So that's how you do parallel lines. The other type of question that you'll get is about perpendicular lines. So perpendicular means that they form a 90-degree angle. So for example, the corner of a room or the wall to the floor of a room is 90 degrees. That's what perpendicular means, is that you have two lines that are forming a 90-degree angle. Sometimes you'll see people write a square there. That means that it's 90 degrees. So for example, if we have our coordinate system, let's say we have a line here. Remember, the line parallel went like this. The line that's perpendicular to this will look something like this, where these two lines, this angle between those two lines is 90 degrees. Any line that cuts that line at 90 degrees is what's called perpendicular to it. So in order to know the slope of the line that's perpendicular to this line, we have to know the concept of a reciprocal. So if you don't know what a reciprocal is, it is basically if you have a number, what number do you multiply by in order to get 1? But the easy way to think about it is you just flip over the fraction. So for example, if we have the number 2, well, a whole number really is a fraction. It's 2 over 1, because 2 over 1 is 2. So the reciprocal of that is we just flip the fraction. So the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. And you can see that if we would multiply these two together, we would get 2 over 2, which equals 1. So the reciprocal again is, what do you multiply by a number in order to get 1? The answer is you're just going to flip the fraction. For example, the reciprocal of 1/3, you flip it over, you get 3 over 1, which is just 3. So the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3. The reciprocal of 8/9 is 9/8. So that's the idea of a reciprocal, because, and the reason you know that is that for perpendicular lines, the slope is going to be the negative reciprocal. So you're going to have to find the slope and then take the negative reciprocal of it. So we'll do an example. So again, they are probably going to give you an equation of a line. Here's an equation of a line. You need to put it in slope-intercept form, like we did before. Divide by 4. You have to divide both sides by 4 in order to get rid of that 4. 2x minus 9/4. What's the slope of the line perpendicular to this line? Well, here's the slope of this line. So to be perpendicular to this line, we have to take the negative reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. It has to be negative 1/2. So remember, in parallel to, we just said, okay, what's the slope of the line parallel to this line? It's just the same number, it's 2. If you see perpendicular, you have to take the negative reciprocal. Let's say we have 3y equals negative 9x plus 12. Same methodology. Put this in slope-intercept form. That's what you're always going to do for this kind of a question. How do you get rid of this 3? It's 3 times y, so we divide by 3. We have to divide each element by 3 on this side. This becomes y equals 9 divided by 3, or negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Our slope here is negative 3. To find the perpendicular slope, you need to take the negative reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. It's already negative, so the negative of that is positive. So the answer to this question is positive 1/3.